Good evening, everyone. I am Chris, and I am joined once again with JXEditor. I actually pointed the right direction this time. We're here once again, weekly reviews, talking about Star Wars Andor. We're up to episode 10 tonight with the episode titled One Way Out, and we've got 2 episodes left of this. So it's going to cap at episode 12. The next 2 episodes are directed, written by Benjamin Caron and Tony Gilroy. So it looks like we're going to have a nice little double-parter to sort of close out the series. It's really interesting to see how this series is developing week to week, because we're 10 episodes in. We're basically finished now, like 10 out of 12. You're pretty close to the end at that point. You're past the 3/4 mark for sure. And it still feels very much like a slow burn, but a lot happened in this episode. It capped off that 3-episode arc very, very nicely. And we're here to talk about it. There are sort of 3 key scenes in this episode. There's not a whole lot. And it's actually kind of difficult talking about this week to week, I found, because, you know, we end up talking for like 45 minutes to an hour. And usually that's like 20 minutes on Andor. And then the rest of that time is just us kind of like talking about Tom Bombadil or other random shit that we happen to talk about. But I don't know how long this review is going to be. As I say, there's only 3 pivotal scenes, but those scenes are really pivotal, and like big shit happened in those scenes, and it's furthering the intrigue and where the series is heading. But before we dive into it, first and foremost, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. Did a lot of cleaning today. I huffed a lot of dust and bleach.
This should be an interesting review then. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just like huff a load of bleach. Maybe that'd make the reviews more entertaining. I don't know. Maybe I should give that a try, or not.
I mean, your work. I mean, you know, you might be a little cleaner on streams.
That's it. Well, in between huffing bleach, you also have your own YouTube channel. So
yeah,
if you want to tell people where they can find you and what you're working on at the moment.
Well, hello. I am JXEditor. You can find me at youtube.com/JXEditor. Right now, I'm posting stuff mostly from a Star Wars Episode 9 edit. You're a little faster. You can do it. You can do it.
A little faster. There we go. It's better. I'm getting better.
I think next week's going to be. I think next week we're going to think we nailed it, and then for the finale, just
we're going to fuck it up. Yeah. Oh no. See, I'm going to go the opposite. You're going to say that we're going to nail it by episode 12. I think we're going to do it.
The series retrospective is going to be the worst one yet.
Oh, okay. We'll purposely fuck it up. That's what we'll do. Anyway, your YouTube channel. Yeah, go.
Yeah, no, I'm posting clips from my Star Wars edits. Right now, I've been posting a lot of clips from Star Wars Episode 9. Got a couple things in reserve that I need to remember to put the tags in after the stream.
Yeah, I almost forgot to do the tags for this video. It's a whole... People don't know the work, the arduous work that goes into a YouTube video.
Tags now.
You what, sorry?
You can go to an old video and copy a tag.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Not on mobile.
Oh, okay.
I have to do it now
here. I always set up on desktop anyway. I did not know I could do that. Well, I know now, so thank you. Oh. Yes, I'm a dirty, stinking Brit, so yes, I am drinking a cup of tea at gone 11 p.m. because that's the best time to drink tea. Clearly, I'm not going to be awake all night. Okay, One Way Out.
By the way, I'm not on heroin. I had my tattoo touched up.
Well, you're not on heroin tonight, but you know.
No, bleach.
Bleach, yeah. That's, you know, you got to wean yourself off the heroin with some bleach. Or you do the 2 together. That could be fun. Anyway, One Way Out, episode 10. Let's talk about it. We'll start off with initial opinion. So I get your opinion on it first. Just overall opinions on this episode sort of in a vacuum, and then as a conclusion to this 3-episode arc.
So in a vacuum, this is a very fast episode. Like you said, there are 3 major scenes. Not a lot happened, and yet so much happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could tell you beat for beat, or at least scene for scene, what happened in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I might get like 3 things wrong.
Yeah.
And it would probably just be about the order of events at the beginning of the episode.
And as a conclusion to the 3 episodes?
I think it was a great conclusion. And I think I have one issue kind of just with you and I are going to disagree with this, but spoiler alert for the episode, I disagree with Andy Serkis not even trying to learn to swim. Like, if he's like, I can't swim, and I'm just like, there's no time like the present to learn.
Do you know what it? Do you know what it?
Start kicking.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, and maybe he could tag along with someone or just use someone as like
Grab a big
human
guy.
raft. Yeah, there are ways around it based on the alternative. I mean, drowning to death would be fucking horrible. I'm not going to say that, but
oh yeah.
Being like, well, it depends. Would he be immediately shot? Would he be punished more severely? Given the alternative of staying in there or trying for it at least, I'd have tried for it.
Yeah.
And I can't. This is coming from a guy who can't swim as well, so I'd have gone for it.
I can swim.
Yeah.
Look, just kick.
Yeah, it was a good way to the shore, though. I will say that. Like, when we cut to, we're going to jump all around with this, but if we stick with this like prison story first, when we cut to the final shot, we just see Cassian and one other guy make it to the shore. Now, I'm guessing that maybe some of the other one. I actually couldn't see if you could see any of the other prisoners sort of making their way up the beach in the background. Or if it's implied that they all got picked off, or if they drowned, or if they didn't make it, and Cassian and this other guy are the only two that did. Maybe the others got off on another part of the beach somewhere. I don't know. But if it keeps it ambiguous like that, I haven't got a problem with it. But yeah, if they are the only two that made it, then that's a hell of a death toll.
Transport in the distance, picking up some escaped prisoners in the next one to establish the looming threat.
And that was one level. Like, the whole prison went down, so the fate of the other prisoners remains unknown.
Was that all? Well, because we see on the display they're all running to the middle.
Yeah, but based on the amount of people in that prison, that the amount that we saw jump off that balcony, I think was just his floor. Was just like floor 5 or floor 2.
Level 5.
Yeah, that was it.
Level 2 is where everybody got fried. There's like 100 people per level.
That's it. Yeah.
5 tables, 20. Wait.
It looks like there's a lot of levels. They mention that they get to the control room on level 8. So there's at least 700 people total in that prison, I would say. But yeah, I see what you're saying about Andy Serkis's character's fate. It reminded me a little bit of, we've definitely quoted this before in these reviews. Saw Gerrera, yeah. I shall go no further.
I will run no longer.
It's like, why? Why? Just fucking try at least, you know? What have you got to lose? But I totally see your point, but I thought it was a really nice sort of fitting poetic end for the character, if a little silly. I would have still, as we mentioned, I would have still jumped for it, but Andy Serkis played this character so well. And that's the thing. I
have a note here that says he was channeling Caesar.
Yeah, I can see that. Dude was just like acting. Like, Andy Serkis is so fucking good. Especially with just like facial expressions as well, and you know, just triggering those emotions. When he gets on the tannoy, when he gets on the microphone and he gives this kind of like half-ass speech, and I get the impression that, I don't know if he was just filled with fear and that's why he cut it short, but I get the impression that he was just way out of his depth. Like, he almost couldn't fathom, he couldn't believe where he was. He didn't know how to lead people. And then Cassian's like, look, come on, is that the best you've got? Like, instill confidence in the people here. And then he goes on his Caesar speech after that. Yeah. And I thought he played that very well.
Prisoner, together, strong.
Yeah. And they were, and I love that. I love that people are getting picked off still as well. I like the Empire as well, where they're being held at gunpoint. I'm trying to remember the dialogue exactly now because I watched this earlier today. And Cassian's like, deactivate the power, and he says, but they're hydro-powered. It'll take like a couple of weeks to come back on. Like, they want to boot this thing back up. He's like, I don't want to turn this shit off. I was like, you fucking son of a bitch. Who's going to have
to turn that shit back on? Me.
Yeah. So yeah, very different side to the Empire, because we've mostly always seen stormtroopers that are either incredibly competent when it comes to Star Wars: A New Hope, or horribly incompetent in pretty much every other Star Wars film after A New Hope.
Yeah,
But this
fresh
is a very
perspective.
different
Well,
side. This is like a very sadistic side to the Empire. We know that the Empire is sadistic. They destroy a whole goddamn planet for God's sake. But this felt more personal, like this prison level stuff, like almost like a concentration camp, work camp type situation. From last week, the genocide of that alien race, and they recorded the screams. Like this is a really fucking nasty side to the Empire that we haven't seen before, and I kind of appreciate it. It makes them way more terrifying than we've ever seen before, I think. Hang on, I'm just. Oh wow,
beautiful
porn
girl
pop-ups,
here.
porn comments. They're the best kind of pop-ups. Let me just block that user real quick.
Yeah.
As much as I'd like to see beautiful girls, hey, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to deactivate you. Anyway, continue.
No, but you know what those two guys kind of remind me of? Something that I think we should probably see more often in movies these days, but I've only ever seen it in one thing, and it's Iron Man 3 when Tony. I know it wasn't a great movie, but when Tony's like breaking out of the compound, he has like one glove, he steals the gun, he takes out all the guys, and then that one guy turns the corner and he's got a gun to him. He's like, I hate working here. These people are so fucking weird.
Yeah. I do like the sort of more grounded day job. So usually stormtroopers, as I mentioned, that we've seen before. One of my favorite bits, well, I don't know if it's favorite bits, probably a bit hyperbole, but one bit that I really appreciated, it's at the beginning of Rogue One when Jyn Erso's in the back of that like wagon. I don't know if she's going to like a prison camp or something. It's right before K2SO breaks her out at the beginning, and she's just looking down this, she's all like handcuffed or whatever in this trunk, and there's just a stormtrooper that's just kind of sat there watching the prisoners, and he's kind of hunched over and he looks wearied, like he's waiting for his lunch break or something. He doesn't even utter a word in the film, but just like the body language and everything, I just really appreciate that when it's like, yeah, these are guys just working a day job, they're putting food on the table. Robot Chicken takes that to hilarious degrees where they like really, yeah.
Star Wars Story mentioned a Robot Chicken bit that actually has D. Bradley Baker.
Oh, really?
And it's essentially one clone being like, so is it gay to have sex with a clone of yourself? And he's just like, wait, are you asking me what I think you're asking me? Because if so, no, let's do it. And then he gets shot. And so he's just like,
I don't think I've seen that one. I don't think I've seen that one. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so last time I mentioned about Andy Serkis's character, where I said that you do get the sense that he does genuinely care about his men and he wants them to get out and everything. And I think you countered that point by saying, well, no, I still think he's very selfish in that
he just wants to get out. But
really, when the old guy dies, that hit home personally to him that he won't get out of there. And it was like a self-preservation thing purely for him, for selfish reasons. After tonight's episode, do you still feel that same way? Because I think it was always there. I think he did always just, he did always care for his people. And that leadership role really sort of like came into his own in this one, where he was like, Moses, let my people go. And he led them to freedom, didn't he? He didn't get to part the sea, though, because he can't swim, so he's going to stay behind. But do we still have a JX? He is frozen. He's frozen. Okay, well, hopefully he jumps back in. Oh, hang on. He's back. He's back. I'm just going to bring up this comment real quick from Derpy501st. Andy Serkis is a god. He certainly is. He's fantastic. But yeah, go on. Sorry. To your point about not caring about his people, do you think that's still the case now? Or
no. I mean, it could be at this point. No, I wouldn't say so. Like, it's more just if he knew that the only way out was swimming, then he's like the black guy. He's like, I'm dead already. It's just one thing to do.
That is very strange, though, because I think they all knew that they were on a either underwater or surrounded by like an Alcatraz
Well, yeah,
kind of
because
situation.
they got
They all knew that was the case. So if that was the case, then I feel like Andy Serkis would have put up less of a fight or have been less freaked out about the idea of getting out in the last episode if he knew he was always going to be there. Because this recontextualizes everything now, because once he knows that, okay, there is no escape, he's resigned himself to his fate then. He knows that he's not leaving that place right from that moment. It's not just a question of that they're keeping us here against our will. It's, well, this is it. Then I can't get out of here. This is where I die. Which, yeah, I mean, it's quite a impactful ending to the character. I hope that is the last time we see him. It's very strange, as I mentioned, that they've cast Andy Serkis as this character in particular. Not that this is like a bad character or anything like that, and Andy Serkis plays it very well. And certainly, I think we've got 2 episodes left, but I think Kino for me will be easily one of the most memorable characters of this whole series, and that 3-episode arc is probably the most memorable to me. I love the setting, I love the stakes of it, and just the new stuff that it's presented to the Star Wars saga. But it's always like, oh, the character has so much potential, but I don't want them to bring that character back. I don't want this to be another example where Disney just keep resurrecting characters. Let it be. It was a really cool ending to the character. I don't want him to come back. I was reading an interview with Andy Serkis actually, where he was talking about that he thought fans might be confused with his return to the saga and concerned about the whole Snoke thing. And Snoke, he says, like, there were already like millions of Snoke theories, and this might just add fuel to the fire to that. But he really praised the director and the showrunner and presenting this character. I think a character like this does help an actor craft their own backstory and, you know, really tap into that, what it means to be an actor and everything. And within 3 episodes, I think he nailed it. I think he really did it. It's nice that he kind of got another shot at Star Wars in some way, even if it's just 3 episodes within a series that's really fucking good. But unfortunately, I don't think many people are watching, and certainly not many people are talking about. And Cassian is also there and escapes. Anyway, that's pretty much all.
He actually escapes.
Yeah, he does. But
I thought those were going to be wires, not water.
Which bit? Sorry, which bit are you talking?
The tube that he's hitting, that he's cutting through.
Yeah, that was. Did he know it was water, or was that just a shot in the dark? Yeah, that was straight. Yeah, it's weird that they would have the water function there. I guess everything's on hydropower. When it pulls out to the wide shot, I'm going to go back to the thumbnail here. I wanted to ask you, what do you think about this? Because I can't tell if this was really cool or a bit too fan servicey and kind of muddies the whole logo of everything. The prison being the actual logo of the Empire. And I think when it pulls out, isn't there multiple prisons dotted around that one? Isn't there isn't there a cluster of prisons like that? I can't remember if that's the only one.
You know, I think I remember seeing other like similar structures, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
The Empire, so everything we've known since 1977 of that Empire logo is based on a structural design of a prison.
I think, I honestly, it's just an octagonal prison to me. It didn't even occur to me that was.
Oh, dude, come on! You know Star Wars. Fuck's sake,
really,
come on! You know that shit. You know that shit.
No, I see it now, but I didn't see it. It didn't like jump.
Really, that astounds me. I thought it was so that was more obvious than the blue milk slow zoom from Rogue One.
You can't be more obvious than the blue milk.
They fucking showcase that shit. Look at that.
Let me bring up the actual logo.
They've even got like the little Pac-Man thing in the middle of it.
You see, now I'm confused.
How did you not? Dude, come on.
It's not that similar.
It really is.
Hang on, bring it up again.
It's the fucking Empire logo.
It's a fucking circle.
Dude, it's got the little things coming off it. That's the center. Come on.
I think you're reaching.
No, fuck, dude! It zooms out so perfectly to showcase.
It kind of reminds me. Well, the thing is, it reminds me more of the Confederacy logo.
It's the fucking Empire logo, man.
No,
Like, come on.
no, but it is the Confederacy logo.
Hang on,
No, the Confederacy logo is hexagonal.
Are you talking about the Separatists?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Separatists.
Yeah, no,
It's
there aren't
close to
enough
that.
spokes for that to be the Imperial logo. That's not the Imperial. That's just a prison.
It's very similar, dude. It's very
It kind of
similar.
reminds me of the Sith Empire.
Yeah, it's my point is it's close. It's close to it. I think it's meant to be the Empire logo. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be
You're
based off that.
so wrong at this point.
It zooms out so perfectly and lingers on that shot for ages, and I was like, "That's." I always know the shot that is going to be the thumbnail.
Unless, I don't know.
No. Okay. Anyway,
did we see other people escaping from the other buildings?
I actually can't remember, and that's what I mean. I'm pretty sure when it zooms out into that shot, you can see a cluster of other prisons, but I don't remember seeing other people jumping overboard. Because that's a good question. Like, did they shut down their own building or did they shut down all of them? If there's a cluster of buildings, I would imagine that the other buildings are all up and running because the hydropower would still be going. Everything would be fine. It'd just be their building. So, yeah.
Well, it depends if the hydropower was like sourced in that building or if it's sourced from like a network they're all connected to.
Yeah. I remember there being one shot in this episode of Indian lady walking through street. This show's very weird. It will show a shot of a character that maybe we haven't seen for like a bunch of episodes, and the scene will be about 20 to 30 seconds long, and then we move on to something else. So it's not even worth commenting on, but I can't remember what happened with her storyline.
Weren't they talking about like what's her face is breathing?
I think so. I can't remember. There's a really quick scene of
she's the old Irish lady's going to die in 2 episodes.
Yeah. We'll talk about predictions at the end of this where we think it's going, because there's certainly a bunch of characters that we've neglected. We've neglected all of Cassian's childhood upbringing flashbacks, which I thought were going to be a thing. That was a very strange structural decision. How it was.
I didn't know that was already a story before this.
Yeah.
So I thought we were going to see the whole 6 years old thing, but no, that's already a book.
Yeah, same. And the fact that it went out of its way to show flashbacks to a young Cassian repeatedly kept cutting back to it. And then we've just kind of ignored that and let that go now. So that was very strange. I feel like you could have almost lifted that entirely out of there and not lose anything. Because you started the series off with him looking for his sister, and that storyline's just completely sort of gone now, hasn't it?
She didn't survive.
Yeah. Well, she will have. She will have, but
maybe.
There's that word again. Let's move on. Let's to. Let's go to Mon Mothma next. Why not? So she meets with Davo Skulden, who is the shady businessman, banker guy who's drafted in to kind of help alleviate the shady funds that she's got going on, the blank spaces in the accountancy books, and to try and smooth all of that shit out. Very, very sleazy guy. I feel like I've seen the actor before in something, and I can't place who it is, but he looks familiar. Once again, I'm still loving the Mon Mothma stuff, the really good slow burn intrigue behind the scenes, how a rebellion is formed, and it's a very interesting concept, like the whole like childhood marriage thing, betrothal, based on their ancient custom.
Something Mon Mothma was a part of, but I guess doesn't support.
Yeah, she was. She married at 16, I think they mentioned, didn't 15. They, in a previous episode? 15. Yeah. And that's weird. What this guy wants.
That's the threshold of it being weird. Like, oh, but you guys got married at 16? That's really young. Guys got married at 15? That's fucked up.
Yeah, definitely. This is even younger. Like, I think she's 13, the daughter, isn't she?
The daughter is 13, his son is 14.
Yeah, and he wants to arrange a meeting. She immediately jumps to betrothal, and he says, no, let's just, I want to see if they will arrange a meeting. Clearly, that's what he wants, and that's what he's ushering for. And she's not having any of it. So she sees him out and he's like, think it over. And she's like, no, I've thought it. No, it's not happening. Get the fuck out. that storyline clearly isn't going to end there, I don't think, because I think they probably need him. And I'm wondering if that is a sacrifice that she's going to have to make, because sort of leading us on to the final bit of the discussion of this episode, it's where we have Lonnie, who's an informant for the ISB, and he's conversing with Luthen. He's recently a father. His wife just
informant for the rebellion.
Yeah, he's a double agent, basically, isn't he? He's working for the Empire, but then he's feeding them information to the rebellion. And he says, look, I'm a father now. I want out of this. I've been in this fight for 6 years. That number keeps cropping up, doesn't it? And then there's
deep cover.
Skarsgård just fucking acts, just monologues his way throughout this whole ending, and it's fantastic. Talking about sacrifice, and Lonnie's like, well, what have you ever sacrificed? You know, I've got a family. I've had to put on this front for 6 years and live a double life, and it's tearing me apart, and the stress of that, which Skarsgård acknowledges, and he says, like, you're an absolute hero for the rebellion, and I can't let you go. And then Lonnie fires back with, well, what have you sacrificed? And just fucking annihilates the conversation with everything he's given towards this cause. And it's so great. So that's what I'm thinking, going back to Mon Mothma real quickly. I'm wondering if marrying off her daughter in order to smooth over the books to keep herself under wraps, if that is a sacrifice that she is going to make.
I think the daughter is going to like the guy and be like, fuck you, mother. You're 13 years old. I said, fuck you.
I'm 13 years old, mother. I'm not a child.
That was all. Change the number. That was actually a line in Legacy of the Force.
Oh, really?
It's 14, and it's Ben Skywalker.
I mean, I was going for Little Mermaid, where she says, I'm 16 years old, I'm not a child. But it seems like that's a common trope then, I guess, in things, which is really weird.
I think you said, like, kid or something. Either way, It's just immature Ben Solo about to be tortured by his cousin.
But with how mature the writing is of this and how it's like going places we haven't seen in Star Wars before, it honestly, I wouldn't put it past this series for Mon Mothma to be like, have a conversation with that guy who's like a childhood friend and say, like, look, I know you don't want to do this, but if you believe in the cause, maybe she'll even consult with Luthen again, and he'll say, like, look, you got to do this. If you want real change, then we've got to do this. And that's her massive sacrifice, that she basically seals her daughter's fate by arranging this marriage with this guy who she can't fucking stand.
I don't think the family's going to live.
It's very weird that she never mentions them, but then again, I'm thinking, well, why would she? But if she's leading this rebel alliance, she would not be able to keep that a secret from her husband at that point. So the husband's either going to go full Empire, or he's going to die, or they're going to move, I guess, and the marriage is going to break apart.
Yeah, because what I know is, one, she's openly the leader of the rebellion by the time of the films.
Mm-hmm.
And two, her family is not mentioned when she's chancellor.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other things with this. Didn't they they drop the line, it's a trap, in this a couple of times?
No.
I thought it was like it was almost like, what if it's a trap? And it's undoubtedly a trap. Not quite that, but it's not from The Hobbit. But I swear they mentioned it offhandedly. And I remembered my brain going like, oh.
I remember him saying, if this is a trap, hit floor 215.
Yeah. I think he says, like, what if it's a trap? And then that line right there, like, well, if it's a trap. And I was like, oh, are you doing an Admiral Akbar thing, but just really subtle about it? I don't know.
Or they're just talking about a trap.
They could be. But
it doesn't always have to be. This doesn't have to be a General Hux. Do you know what this is?
I'm so used to modern Star Wars just bending over backwards for references to previous shit, so that's why. But yeah,
a simple man trying to make his way in the universe.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Like my father before me.
I love the ending to this. I love the exchange, and just yeah. Let's talk about speculation then for the next 2 episodes.
Well,
where do we think this? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I thought the new prisoner being brought in, since it just showed his chest at first, I thought he was going to be like someone. He was going to be important.
Oh, someone we've seen
pretty sure he was the first one to die.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also,
Ryan Johnson directed that scene, clearly.
The Coruscant Undercity is cool.
Do we see the Undercity? Where
I would assume that's where.
Oh, that's in the elevator at the end with
It seemed very Undercity.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Like not like the neon nightlife that we see with in Attack of the Clones, but
yeah, no, it was cool. Yeah, no, I'm digging the show. Speculation for the end. I really don't know where this is ramping up to, because I'm trying to think of like a narrative through line that we're building to. We need to go back to Cyril, and Daedra. It is Daedra, isn't it? Daedra Miro, is that her name? I keep forgetting her name. We're going to have to go back to them, and something's got to build there, definitely. I think Irish Lady needs to come back into it. And also girlfriend that was being tortured the last episode needs to come back into it. Bix. Yeah, I keep saying Binks. Bring him back into it. Why not?
Speaking of the torture scene from last episode, remember? Oh shit! You know the French song in Inception?
Yeah, non je ne regrette rien. Yeah,
I want to use that in that scene.
yes.
No.
And then we need a dream level. What would the dream level be? The prison. The prison could be. That's maze-like. There you go. So the prison's one dream layer.
We're not doing this. Oh, also, if we do edit this, though, there's a Wilhelm scream in this that needs to be added to this episode.
Hang on. Let me try and think where this would be, because I remember watching it and thinking, I don't know if I found a place for it, or I was trying to look out for one. Is it where the guy gets no, there's a guy on the balcony in the prison, and he like grabs him by his ankle and like drags him, but I don't think that's Wilhelm scream worthy.
The second room that gets liberated, a guy falls off the top railing.
Oh, does it? Okay, yeah, there you go.
It would have been perfect.
So yeah, speculation for the next two episodes. I really don't know, because we've got one more season after this, which I believe is coming out in 2024. So we've got a couple of years wait. But honestly, if it's the same quality as this, the direction, the tone of it, the pace and everything, then take as much time as you want, because this is the best written Star Wars content we've had since Disney took over, in my opinion. It's certainly up there. But still, I don't know if I'll ever come back to this show. I don't think it's entertaining enough for me to rush back to watch it. But I'm enjoying it as I'm watching it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
I get what you're saying.
I'm hoping more people give this a shot, maybe once it's all said and done, or maybe more people will talk about this once all 12 episodes are out there and you can review it as a whole thing, because I do think it probably flows better in more of a binge-worthy way to watch it, or even, as we mentioned, like releasing the arcs all together, like the 3 episodes, like they did with the premiere. If they'd have done that, I think that would have really helped the momentum, because as it is at the minute, it's difficult to kind of get your head back in the space where you left last time, and then the arcs, how they're split up. You basically have an Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 split across 3 weeks, and that can be difficult to feel that momentum of the episode. So that maybe can add to the slow pace, I guess, week to week. So,
but what do you do with episode 7?
That's a good question. You just release that one on its own, I guess. I'm not sure.
That's a disappointing week.
Yeah. That'd be the only week, I think, where you release one on its own, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, but then next week you only release 2.
Yeah, it would never work. They could never do it. But still,
if it was only 3 acts, then yeah.
Whereas I look at those first 3 premiere episodes, and I think if they'd have released each one of the like one per week, week 1 I'd have been like, oh, well, this is like a really boring, disappointing start to Andor. Second week I'd be like, yeah, I'm still really not feeling this show. Like, it's really slow. It's not going anywhere. Episode 3, I'd be like, oh, okay, actually that was pretty good and tied everything together. So that worked more for me as the premiere, because you got that sense of structure with those first 3. And then unfortunately we haven't had that moving on. So, hell, maybe it would be better to sort of like go back and binge it at some point. But maybe. I'd quite like to see an edit of this. I'm trying to sort of get my head around how you would condense this into a 2 or 3 hour film. It's very difficult based on the story arcs at the moment. I think you'd probably have to keep it focused on Cassian, and maybe you'd have to lose a lot of that extraneous stuff like Mon Mothma and
Definitely.
the Luthen stuff, perhaps. I mean, there's
I'm
great
wondering-
scenes, but I think you definitely have to keep it more focused on Cassian. So maybe it's doable. Could be doable.
I'm wondering if Rogue One should be cut into into Andor episodes.
Series 2. You save that shit for season 2.
So technically series 3.
Yeah.
4 episodes. Or 2
Yeah.
or 3 or whatever.
Which is why I wish we'd really got a Jyn Erso series as well. If we're going to keep going with like Rogue One prequels, that's the character I want to see more from, and see her training. We could get more flashbacks with Galen and everyone's favorite Krennic, more stuff on Coruscant. Hell, at that point, you could tie in characters from Rogue One, maybe not Rogue One, sorry, from this series if you wanted to. As long as you don't have like Jyn meeting Cassian, obviously, but you could do some stuff with that. I'd still be down for that. What's she got going on at the moment? I forgot the name of the actress who played Jyn Erso. What was her name?
I cannot remember off the top of my head.
What's she got going on right now? I haven't seen her in a film for a while. I think the last film I saw her in was the third Da Vinci Code film. I think that was the last one that I saw her in.
Da Vinci Code film?
Yeah, there was Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and then was it called Inferno or something?
You mean the Dan Brown novels?
Yeah.
The Robert Langdon trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh, Felicity Jones.
That's the one. Yeah. I haven't seen her in anything for a while, so she could come back as Jyn Erso. Why not?
The Aeronauts. I guess she was also in Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's unfortunate for her.
She was Felicia Hardy.
Oh, okay.
Which, yeah, we never got that, did we? That's funny. She bet on the wrong horse there. Anyway, overall thoughts on this episode? Another solid episode. Tied everything up nicely.
For next episode.
Oh, go on. Sorry, yeah.
Well, I think the Cassian stuff is just gonna be him on like trying to escape, and then the conclusion is he's gonna be saved by Luthen.
Well, Luthen mentions about that thing where he's basically sending 50 men to his death, isn't he? So I don't know if that stuff's going to happen sort of like off screen between episode 10 and 11, or if that's going to be a focal point of episode 11, maybe. I think Saw Gerrera is going to come back into it. I don't see them bringing him back just for that one scene, because that will be strange.
I, strangely enough, would be surprised if we saw him again.
Oh, do you think? Oh, okay. Well, it's just a really pointless episode then, wasn't it? It's just like...
No, it had a point, and it didn't need to be Saw Gerrera. It just happened to be Saw Gerrera. But the point of it was to show why the rebellion isn't the rebellion yet.
It's like, Saw, we need you to work with this guy. No! Okay. and end scene.
My friend!
I do love the way he talks, though. He does crack me up. Yeah, I think that'll do it. I don't want to drag the review out any longer than it needs to be. That'll do it. Looking forward to episode 11, and we will be back next week. Thursday, once again, that's going to be the 17th of November at 11 p.m. GMT for another review on Star Wars Andor. Penultimate episode. Hopefully it leads us into a nice place for where we're going to go into in episode 12. Maybe we'll be able to make better predictions after next episode. Yeah, loving it. So do subscribe to the channel for more movie reviews, discussions, and live streams. There are some big movies out, today, I think, pretty much, or tomorrow. We've got the new Black Panther film that's out. Oh. I am so backdated with films that I need to watch. It's absolutely crazy at the moment. My time is very limited. And yesterday, I picked up the new God of War game. I can't remember the last time that I played a video game, but I bought God of War Ragnarok. I actually got to play it today after a 2-hour install last night. Absolutely crazy. Like, launch day games are just gone for me now. You buy a game, you ain't playing it that day because you're installing that game. I'm about an hour or so into it, maybe an hour and a half, and I'm loving it so far. So if I can get that completed in a timely fashion, all my free time, if it ain't music practice, it's on playing God of War at the moment. And I know I've never done a video game review before, but I'd be down for doing a God of War Ragnarok review at some point once I get that completed. And yeah, also there's a new Marvel movie out. There's a new DC film out, Black Adam, which I haven't got to. There's the new Halloween film, which I still haven't watched yet. So I'm very behind when it comes to films. But I promise occasionally I do movie reviews as well. And also you can follow me on Twitter. Follow me on there. That's probably the best bet because I'll post all the links when I go live and what I've got coming up on the channel. You can follow me at Hobbit Fan Editor. In terms of the Tolkien content, there won't be any Tolkien content tomorrow. It's a little bit down to the wire. But next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be joined once again with Everything in Middle-earth. And we're going to be doing a Lord of the Rings film trilogy quiz with very, very difficult questions. I believe it's going to be 60 questions, 10 questions based on each half of each film. And yeah, I need to go back through those films over this weekend and start penning down some really difficult questions. So,
are you going to ask him to make questions about the different swords in Middle-earth and give him very specific rules? And then when he creates the questions to your specific rules, you're going to say anybody could have done better than that. And then you're going to make the quiz yourself and come up with exactly what he comes up with, except you would break your rule to make it work better. Is that what's going to happen?
You still sound very raw about that. Are you okay?
Fuck off.
Those rules were bullshit and you know it.
Yes.
For that round.
They were your rules.
No, for that round. No, you were doing fine.
You made the stipulations for that portion of the quiz. We followed them.
Every other round was fine. No complaints. That round can get fucked. We don't talk about that round.
Yeah, that was a fundamentally flawed round.
It's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Ooh, which prop was this that you could only see if you freeze frame the film 2 frames?
Yeah, it was a stupid question. It was a stupid quiz. But you know what? You told me to make it.
I said you to make it difficult, not fucking impossible.
No, look, it was either going to be easy or impossible. Either it was going to be only iconic lightsabers that you would get in an instant, or it's going to be some obscure prop you only see in the background.
Anyway, I've expressed my thoughts on that. Anyway, that's part of a bygone channel now that we don't talk about. We're onwards and upwards with new quizzes on this channel. So if you like your Lord of the Rings, next week, very, very, very difficult Lord of the Rings quiz coming your way. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, I'm going to bring up your link. So head over to JXEditor's channel and give him a subscribe. Hang on, we're going to do it. There we go. We get 2.
No, I already fucked it up.
Okay, fuck
All
it.
right,
Next week. He does Star Wars content. He does other content. He's constantly working on edits and okay, he's going. Oh, damn, I fucked up. Never mind. We tried.
No, you didn't even try there.
I
fucked up.
Anyway, that'll do it from us. Have a very good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you're coming at this review from all over the world, hopefully. And we'll see you next week for more Star Wars Andor content. Take care, everyone.
Love you.